Hello everyone and welcome back. Let's take a quick first look into Blood Decays in the Battle for Azeroth Alpha. Now as far as changes go in their talents and abilities, Spectral Deflection is the only change in talent right now, and this is the talent point that'll consume an extra bone shield charge whenever you take a lot of damage. And this talent point is not yet implemented or to be determined, which means that it can either be changed or completely replaced. We don't know yet, but this is the only one that right now is on the chopping block. As far as abilities, Death Knights are going to be getting a new ability, and this is baseline for all of them, not just Blood. And the ability is called Foxys. Now what this ability does is that it steals a magic effect or buff from an enemy player and puts it on yourself for 2 minutes, and you can then use this ability again on an ally to transfer that magic ability onto them. So with something like Mythical Dan, where you have to transfer that Bulwark magic effect, it's now possible for a Death Knight to take it away and to transfer it to someone. The only other ability that is different is Death's Advance, and a lot of people are going to love this ability. Now this ability has two parts, one is a passive, one is an active. The passive part means that you cannot be slowed below 70% of your run speed, and the on use is a 30-second cooldown. It is active for 10 seconds, and you cannot be slowed below 100% of your run speed. During these 10 seconds, if someone uses a movement effect on you, you are going to resist 80% of it, and if someone uses a knockback on you, you're actually going to be immune to all of them. So how do Blood Decays feel in the alpha? During AoE pulls and questing, it's very similar to what is live right now. The movement is a little bit better just because you're a little bit more resistant to snares, and you can actually run from pack to pack a little bit faster, so that resistance does add up when you're in that questing environment. And during boss fights, your active mitigation and your healing is still very similar, and it feels exactly the same. The only thing is, during boss fights, there's less of a need to activate Wraith Walk at all times when there's movement needed, because of your inherent resistance to snares and your ability to also use Death Advance to basically remove whatever snares on you. Now let's talk about the good of Blood Decay so far. They do feel very familiar, so if you're very used to a Blood Decay and you play one now in live, you're not going to be lost and everything is going to feel like it's there except for your artifact ability. This also means that your timings are very similar for runic generation, runic spending, cooldowns. It's all very similar. Your resistance to snares makes mobility feel better by actually just stopping you from being slowed. Now the bad is that there are no raid-wide buffs, and this has just been an issue for Blood Decays for a while now, because they were introduced so late into the game, they never had these legacy-wide raid buffs. They also do not have a raid-wide cooldown, which I think would be something very useful for them. If you remember when Death Knights first came out, they had the anti-magic zone. That would be a very good raid-wide cooldown to give them back. Also, one of the bads is that you don't have any speed buffs besides Wraith Walk. What they added was inability to be slowed down, but your ability to speed up is still limited to only Wraith Walk. Now the hopes that I have is that they add one speed buff. At least the on-use ability for Death's Advance can make you go at least 120% run speed or something like that. I think giving that a little bit of a run speed boost would be beneficial while keeping the passive how it is. I also hope that they give at least one raid-wide buff or cooldown like an AMZ or something like that. And just in general with the Blood Decay playstyle, I do want them to change how active mitigation is triggered. I've always thought it's a little weird to use the Death Strike before a big hit and then immediately after as well, just to maintain active mitigation up while that hit is going out. So if that could kind of get reworked, because active mitigation was a huge part of Legion and Legion boss abilities, that would be fantastic. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, good luck out there.